At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
Oh, there we go. It's up. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo. What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing well. A lot to talk about. A lot to go over on this beautiful, somewhat chilly Northwest Arkansas morning. It's a little nippy. Out there. Some exciting news for certain Razorback. You guys, you already know it's in the title up there. It's up there. It's in the title. It's on the graphic. Dalton Wagner signed a kick-ass NIL deal. I can't wait to discuss that. We have some pretty big rumors. Now, talking about recruiting, some pretty big rumors are out there revolving around the Razorbacks, Razorback football recruiting. Again, I'll say the same thing that I say every single time. Take everything you hear from a message board, from Twitter, even people who've been right at times, who I think a lot of them get their information from boards, not all of them. You got to take a lot of what they say with a grain of salt, including what I tell you here. Don't believe anything until it comes from the horse's mouth. So I want to start with that. I want to say that. Yeah. We are a little bit late. I have a new cam. For those of you in Discord, you know what I'm talking about. I shared the picture the other night. I've got a new 4K Logitech cam. I don't think this is streaming in 4K. I think it's streaming in like 1080p, but it's like 60 frames. You could stream in 4K, but that requires a ton of data, which I have great upload speeds. I'm not one to brag, but I do have great upload speeds. But there's a longer delay in reading, like when I ask you guys a question and then, sometimes it could take a little bit longer. My wife and I I did a private stream. That sounds kinky, I know. But we did a private live stream where only she could come in. I send her the link, and she's able to watch. And there was like a 20-second delay, roughly between 18 and about 20-second delay. So I love this cam. It looks really good. That's part of the reason why I was a little late this morning, trying to get everything, make sure it was going well. So, yeah. Keep that in mind. When I ask you guys a question, that's why I always say make sure if you're answering a question that I ask you, make sure you at me, like at Pig Trail. It'll pop up when you fill it out, when you say, the at sign and then, whatever. And then make sure you kind of preference what you're talking about because it takes a good 20, 25 seconds. There's a little bit of a delay there. So, John Haas, Ty, I made it. Ty, I made it. Ty. Welcome, John. Oh, Joe. So, all right. What? I'm not on Patreon. That's straight from my Patreon list from November. So yeah, I mean, I only basically I copy and paste from my Patreon to that graphic to Photoshop to make that. So yeah, I'm sorry, man. It doesn't look like it got you on there. Nothing better than Ty live on the big screen, sharpshooter that like button. I guess that's a wrestling move. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate that, man. Cody Phillips says to Chris the likes button. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah. Wagner seems like a pro wrestler. He looks like a young Undertaker. Tell me otherwise. A little shorter than the real Undertaker. Isn't he like 7 feet tall? Undertaker? I don't know. I mean, those of you diehard wrestling fans. I forgot my debit card expired and I'm not. I apologize, man. I'm sorry, Joe. I hope you make it next month. We broke some records on this Patreon. We went up. I said, hey, let's get to 20. We got to 22. Porter Brown, Kathleen Dreyer, who's also a recent Discord member. We have several of these fine individuals are Discord members. James Witt, we call him Witt. James Whittington, he's in Discord. Kenny Woodard, Ed Hatcher, Chris Royce, Joe Venable, Roy Larimer. I hope I'm saying that right. Or is it Larimer? Andrew Gerard. I love that name. Andrew Gerard. But you have to have like an accent with it. Andrew Gerard. Dustin Ross, John Haas, of course, John. Mark Dodson. Mark Dodson's an OG. Thomas Nunley's an OG. Jenna Mays, who actually taught my my youngest in pre-K. Jenna Mays, shout out to her. Justin Kipper, he's been around. Doug Stubbs has been around. John Goodman. Kelly Marie, our very first moderator on the PTN. She was the very first mod here on YouTube and the first mod in our Discord. And she got there because she's super active in both, and she does a really good job keeping people keeping them in check, right? Anthony White, Randall Hunt. I mean, a lot of OGs on this list. Timothy Wisent, Tyler Edmondson, who I'm pretty sure, I think he was like the first Patreon. I'm going to have to go back and double check that, but shout out to all you guys. Undertaker is 6'10". Okay. What's up, Ty? What's up, Tarl? How you doing, man? Woo Pig, let's go Hawks. Yeah, so let's just start with Dalton Wagner and this huge NIL deal he's a part of. Now, I think, obviously, this has got to be their first NIL class. It's their inaugural NIL class. 15 college athletes, including the Cavender twins, and AJ Ferrari joins WWE's next in-line program. Dalton Wagner's among them. But so it's a pretty prestigious thing. He's not the only football player on this list. You've got Joe Spivak from Northwestern, John Seaton from Elon, the Fighting Teslas. I don't know why I get a kick out of that. And let's see, there's another one. Of course, Dalton Wagner, John Cran from Portland State, Glenn Logan from LSU. Got a couple of basketball people in there. Haley and Hannah Cavender out of Fresno State, basketball players. It's cool, too, because it lists their size. But they have Dalton Wagner listed at 6'9", 330 pounds on their list. So he's in. Good for him. That's really cool. What they say about their NIL program, WWE's NIL program was announced last week following the NCAA's historic new policy that took effect on July 1st, 2021, which ushered in the NIL era, allowing college athletes the ability to monetize their name, image, and likeliness, right? The comprehensive program serves to recruit and develop potential future superstars. Shoot. Dalton Wagner is already a superstar in the state of Arkansas, all right? And further enhances WWE's talent development process through collaborative partnerships with college athletes from diverse athletic backgrounds. All athlete partnerships will feature access to the state-of-the-art WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In addition to resources across the organization, including brand building. Does that sound familiar? Arkansas Razorback fans, if you've kept up, what are they doing? What are they offering on campus? They're all about that brand building, media training, communications, live event promotion, creative writing, and community relations. Upon completion of NIL programs, select athletes may earn an exclusive opportunity to be offered a WWE contract. Learn more about Next in Line at WWE.com/NIL. How badass is that? What a great opportunity for Dalton Wagner. I think, hang on just a second here, trying to pull something up. Yeah, I think I think this is a hell of an opportunity for Dalton Wagner, and of course we're all cheering him on. But really cool. I hope they bring this up. I would like to hear, if you guys watch, I've told you how big a fan I am of 83 Weeks, the YouTube channel. It's Eric Bischoff, who Eric doesn't really seem like he holds much back. I'm not someone, I couldn't even, and I hate to say this, I don't really keep up with wrestling today, all right? I'm 38. I just don't. It's not as enticing. I come from that Attitude Era, or even furthermore, I remember Hulkamania, back in the late 80s, early 90s. Because kids were dressing up as him for Halloween. I mean, who doesn't remember Hulk Hogan, the Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, and Ninja Turtles and Transformers? They just kind of went hand in hand. So I'm kind of from that era, but I really paid attention during the NWO era, the mid-late 90s. And Eric Bischoff, of course, who was over WCW, he talks pretty candidly about his time there and his interactions with different people that he worked with behind the scenes. So it's pretty neat. I hope that 83 Weeks, the YouTube channel, I hope that him and Conrad Thompson talk about this, their NIL program. I would love to hear their take on all this. Of course, I would love to hear them talk about Dalton Wagner. Conrad's an Alabama Crimson Tide football fan, so I'm sure he's somewhat familiar with Dalton Wagner, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Someone needs to tag them in a tweet and be like, bro, you guys need to talk about this NIL program because it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool opportunity for these kids. Again, this is their inaugural class. This is it for them. Ty, so we're going to talk about the finishing move for Dalton Wagner. Jay Carpenter says Wagner's finishing move will be the false start. That's cold-blooded, man. This is what I'm getting tagged with the most is the false start. That's not fair. Let's talk about his accomplishments. The guy is a solid blocker, and I like the pancake. I think that's badass, the pancake. Oh, no, he's going to do it. Here it comes, the pancake. And I don't know what it is. He gets on top of the ropes and he just falls flat on somebody. That's a big man. But they're all huge in the wrestling world. They're all huge. There are no small men's wrestlers. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a few. Talk about like the superstars and the big wigs and the big guys. I love 83 Weeks. Thanks for referring it. I'm telling you, man, and I'm the most casual wrestling fan you'll ever meet. I couldn't tell you 2 stars in wrestling today, like the current guys. I couldn't tell you the roster. I have no idea. Again, you remember Sting, the NWO, of course, The Undertaker with the WWF. And you had on USA, if I remember right, it was WCW and then TNT was WCW. It was Nitro. And they were back to back, or they were right there, channel 22 and channel 23 in Fayetteville. And we watched. I had a blast. I mean, it was men drama. It was soap opera for men with some violence, with guys. I mean, they beat the hell out of each other. They're athletes. You won't convince me otherwise. Those are freaking superhumans. You should do a poll on the finishing move. What would we have? I wouldn't include something like the false start. That's just, I don't want to take a turn to negative town. I like the more like, the pancake or the, I don't know. Would you go with a Razorback themed nickname for Dalton Wagner? Like or you could have him move the tusk or I don't know. You guys who are way more into wrestling than I am. I leave it up to you, and then how about we discuss his super move or his power moves. My uncle was a big wrestling fan as a kid till he went to a match and realized how staged it was. Well, I mean, and that's what's cool about 83 Weeks. They talk about the stories, the creation of these characters, and some of these storylines. It's fascinating. I don't know that wrestling will ever be as cool as it was back in the day. You know, it feels like, and I hate to say this, Andre the Giant obviously made wrestling even more popular, and you got to give Vince McMahon a lot of credit for what he was able to do. Of course, it was his dad's company or whatever, but it seems like it's like Andre the Giant set wrestling up to be huge. It was already popular, but then after the Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant match, then you had the Ultimate Warrior who did the same move on Andre the Giant. It kind of changed. I think it changed wrestling forever, and I think all the way up until like 99, I think wrestling was just badass, or early 2000s. It was cool. It was fun to watch. How do you not like the music that they come out to, you know, like the NWO coming out to their music? And who came out to Jimi Hendrix? Who came out to Hendrix? Was that Hogan? It was great. It was great. That's the other question. What would Dalton Wagner, and we would have to run this by Dalton Wagner, right? We would need to hit him up on Twitter. Okay, what would you call your move? Here's a list of names for your power move or whatever. And what song would you walk out to? That would have to be his preference. That'd have to be his preference. But you feel like, and I know he's from Illinois, so I don't know how country he really is, but a country boy will survive, you know? Maybe something like that. Even, I mean, he's big, burly, but you know what? So is like 75% of the roster probably for the WWE. But anyways, really cool. Air guitar Hogan. That's one of the coolest gifts ever. Well, it's not air. He's got a guitar and he's got the flag behind him. Came out to Hendrix. Who came out to Hendrix? It was Hogan, right? Junkyard Dog was my favorite. Hollywood Hogan. Jim Cornette stuff is crazy because Jim Cornette can tell a story. I like Jim Cornette stuff too. And he and Bischoff do not like each other. All right. So congrats to Dalton Wagner. I love these opportunities that these guys get. To all the new Discord members, they just continue to pop in, and that's awesome. I don't know. I want to remind people in our Discord, you can send out invites. If you want someone, you got a friend or a family member or whatever, you want to bring them in, you can send out an invite. It's on the top left-hand corner where it says Pig Trail Network on Discord, and it should be the second option underneath server boost. And it says invite people. You are more than welcome to do that. If you have any trouble, let me know, and it's possible that maybe I haven't. I thought I changed that setting a while ago, but maybe that's where some of the new people are coming from. But I think a lot of it is we're sharing the links more and more. So, all right. How about all SEC honors? The SEC, Southeastern Conference, put out their list. 3 Razorbacks are what I saw. Treylon Burks, first team. Bumper Pool, second team. But one that caught a lot of people by surprise was Monteric Brown. This is a guy, Mo Brown has not been given his proper respect. Or he hasn't been given proper respect, I should say. I've felt like all along, like this dude, even though he's tied for the lead in most interceptions, or at least he was during the regular season, he's still a difficult, like quarterbacks avoided throwing the ball at his direction. And I don't know that I would say he was a great lockdown corner, but Mo Brown was pretty damn effective. He's pretty damn good, just a solid cover corner. I think he could do just about anything, man-to-man, zone coverage, whatever. And Mo Brown, I think that's part of the reason why he made that list. Obviously, the tied for the most picks is going to get you on that list. But, I mean, look, you talk about the respect factor. It's not really been there for Mo Brown. That's cool. Does that have an impact on whether or not he comes back? And like I said, that game against Missouri, or really the second half of this season, or I would argue most of the season outside of a couple of games, he made himself some money this year. And I don't know that last year, if he were to have left because he was eligible last year, that he makes any money. I don't know that he even gets drafted. This year, he gets drafted. I don't know where. Don't ask me where. But he's going. I think he gets drafted. And again, I'm not saying that because he made. I was saying that before he made this list. Like, this isn't from he made the SEC, so yeah, Captain Hindsight, Ty, of course. No, I was saying that before. I think he made himself some money, and he did. And now he's first team All SEC. I think, if anything, the season as it went down is why he's not coming back, because if I had to lean on him doing one thing or another, I don't think he's coming back. I think Mo Brown, I feel like he's gone, man. I just feel like he's got an opportunity here to make some money. He's been here long enough. He's got plenty of film under his belt. We'll see if he gets I expect him to get a combine invite. And I don't know if the combine does someone like him a lot. It could. Maybe he's got surprising speed. I'd probably put him in the 4.4, 4.5 category, somewhere in there. But I don't feel like he comes back. I really don't. I'm leaning towards no. It's not a hard lean, or if we're talking about confidence like we see in these crystal balls, you can have, these guys can have confidence levels. I would have like low confidence in my pick of him not returning, but I still lean towards him probably not returning. So again, Treylon Burks, Mo Brown, first team, and then Bumper Pool, second team. Good for those guys. Congrats. Finishing move, the chop block. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there, the chop block. So is Wagner still going to play for the Hogs in 2022? And then, I don't know. That's a good question. Again, this was just announced this morning when. I have no idea, my man. I hope. And also, look, it's more exposure for the university. Look at these NIL deals these guys are getting. Look at these NIL deals these Razorbacks are getting. You had Trey Knox with PetSmart, right? You've got Dalton Wagner with the WWE, and it's not like they took in like dozens and dozens and dozens of student athletes. They took on 15 people. The hog toss. I see Brown leaving. Fingers crossed Catalan comes back. Oh, me and you both. Brown is gone. NFL loves good cornerback. Austin with the breaking glass was top notch. It was. Undertaker's big evil music was top notch. When that bell tolls, man, that always makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. That was just so badass. Didn't a top player get I don't know about all that. A condom deal? I don't know anything. I don't know, maybe. I know the Razorback Razorback basketball account had a pretty funny tweet about beating the Trojans. I know that. John says, I apologize for my behavior in Discord. What? I keep it PG here. There, not so much. I don't think you do anything that bad, John. I mean, nothing that I'm sure I've seen worse. I don't know that you've done anything inappropriate. We do have rules, by the way, for people who are new. Rules is rules. Make sure in our Discord you pay attention to that. You read that. Just go over that, right? I'm going to tell you, too, if people are coming to me and they're complaining about you, I'm definitely going to be in your DM, in your Discord DM, just to tell you, whoa. J-Hog says Dalton Wagner. I love that. That's funny. AEW is competing with WWE. See, I don't even know. Yeah, isn't there like 3 wrestling companies now? AEW, WWE, and isn't there another one that's a little bit smaller? Or maybe there's one. See, that's what I'm saying. I am the most casual wrestling. I wouldn't even say, I don't know that it's even fair to call myself a wrestling fan as much as I'm a bigger fan of the content that exposes what happened behind the scenes with all these guys. Like I said, with Eric Bischoff and the relationship that he had with some of these people. Like, it's crazy. These stories are nuts. Truth Soldier says the NFL is rigged like wrestling. What truth do you have to back that up, Truth Soldier? What? I mean, when you say rigged, have there been some scams or things that have happened in the NFL? Sure. Deflategate, which is still kind of a heated topic. And then you have the Saints who are paying. I guess they were paying players to hurt other players, but I don't know that it makes it rigged. I think you've just had some shady stuff go down. Arkansas brand has done a 180. Yeah. AEW is better than WWE nowadays, but classic WWF is good. Classic WWF, and I love watching old WCW. I thought WCW was better. I really did. When they were going at it toe-to-toe. The Wild Hog. I just joined. I missed my Juicy News. Depends on what Juicy News you're referring to. Broham in our Discord says his final move could be the Wild Hog Stampede. I like that. Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Bret Hart, missed them WWF days. Bret Hart always seems to be moaning and groaning. I swear, every time I watch him do an interview, all he does is moan and groan about how wrestling has done him bad. Frederick Clemens, what up, Ty? Glad I didn't miss you live, chat. I appreciate it, Frederick. Yeah, Ultimate Warrior was awesome. Diamond Dallas Page. We could just sit here and reminisce all day long. But I'm telling you guys, watch. Jim Cornette is good on YouTube. Jim Cornette is really good on YouTube. But 83 Weeks. I think it's Conrad Thompson. Is that his name? The host. He's usually the one that asks Eric Bischoff all the questions. It's good stuff, man. It's quality content. If you like the business side of how they operate, if you like that side of things and hearing the kind of behind the scenes, it is crazy. It is some of the best content. And I am there will be days where I'm just sitting eating lunch and I'm just playing video after video of 83 Weeks. Undefeated teams, and we're going to transition to basketball here in a second, but I wanted to stay here for a minute or transition to here. As of yesterday, now this may have changed, but only about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams remain undefeated. Only 2 SEC teams. And Arkansas, obviously being one of them, LSU being the other. Iowa State, Minnesota, Colorado State, Baylor, Wyoming, Arizona, SC, Southern Cal. So, let's say Purdue. Purdue's in there. How long does that remain? That's going to be the question. And I'm going to save that for Friday. I'm going to get your scores because I think Oklahoma is the first big test for Arkansas. I realize Oklahoma lost last night. I watched that second half against Butler. Butler's scrappy. Like, they're Butler. They're not a bad basketball program. I think they were 5-3 going into that game. I don't know who their losses were to, but scrappy, man. I mean, and they beat them in Norman, so, and if that crowd didn't look that big, I don't know if there's a whole lot of excitement. I'm going to say this too. As we transition, as we're getting there, and of course we got recruiting news I want to get in on as well, some pretty big recruiting football news or rumors. It's not really newsworthy yet, it's just rumors. These crowds at Bud Walton Arena, I don't know what's going on. Now they're blaming the old people. Maybe that is the case. I think, too, we've kind of forgotten, like last year, obviously you couldn't fill up the stadium, and all we talked about was, I remember people in this very chat telling me, oh, every game's going to be sold out. No, it is not. No, it's not. Not every game it might be sold out, but it's not going to be filled to capacity, right? These crowds at Bud Walton Arena have just been lame. Let's call it what it is. It's been lame. And I think the students are correct in calling out the old people in the crowd. It's Bud Walton Arena, baby. We get loud. That place has got to be electric. I understand it's a Wednesday night. I understand it's a late Wednesday night game. But for I don't know how many were there, 7,000, 8,000, whatever. That play, it may not even been that many. It's got to be loud. It's got to feel like there's 15,000, 20,000 people in that place. That's the whole point of Bud Walton Arena. That's its reputation. And these people are letting us down. If you're going to these games, get loud. That's the whole point of Bud Walton. That's why it has the reputation that it has. Even when Arkansas was kind of meh, it was always difficult to go into that place. Because even when Arkansas wasn't ranked, when they weren't looked at as a tournament team, the crowds still were a factor. They should be even more of a factor. The highest ranking we've had in years. You finally feel like Arkansas basketball is back. And the crowd is like out of it. Fayetteville, the football stadium, right? Donald Reynolds. Listen to how loud that place was all year. It didn't matter who was there. This isn't an NWA problem. This is just people going to this game and not being loud. I don't understand it. Baum Stadium. Look at the reputation Baum has. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's a bunch of old guys just sitting around, snacking on their popcorn, and they're there to experience good basketball and a good crowd. Get up and be a part of the crowd. Or hell, be loud while sitting on your ass. I don't care. Get loud. What is the deal? Do they have home court advantage, regardless? Yes. But you have a reputation to uphold. And, and I'll say this, too. If you have access to go to the games, this is something you definitely support. That team is something that you support. That product on the floor, it may not be top 10. I got people in Discord, they could be better, in my opinion. Okay, but they're ranked in the top 15. They're not playing top 15 basketball, but they're deserving. This team, that program is deserving of more people going to these games and being loud. I get the lack of people being there. It's an 8 p.m. game against Charlotte. Man, that's hard to get excited for. It just is. I mean, that's the way we're built, right? We got to have something that kind of builds up the excitement. And playing an unranked Charlotte. Now, if Charlotte was undefeated, had they were coming in maybe one loss, and they've already got an upset under their belt on the year, and there's a little bit more speculation as to how this game might come out. I think more people would have been there, and I think the environment would have been louder. But that crowd is just – they're a non-factor for the most part. Maybe that's not fair because it's still at times – we've heard them at times this year get pretty loud. But we haven't heard them break the sound barrier yet in Bud Walton, and hopefully that changes soon. You're going to play – unfortunately, you play Oklahoma at Tulsa. I hate that. I don't know why that game – I'd rather either play that at Norman or play that in Fayetteville. Obviously, I'd prefer it in Fayetteville. And I do think if that were a game, even though now Oklahoma has a couple losses, they don't really have any impressive wins anymore because we've seen what's happened with Florida. We could sit here and talk about it being early all year. Florida lost to a team that hadn't won a game all year at home. So all of a sudden that value of that win has dropped, but that doesn't mean Oklahoma's not going to be a test, by the way. But still, I would love to see that game in Bud Walton, and I think that would draw quite a few. I think that's a game that draws 15,000, maybe more. Had Oklahoma won and had some things gone their way this year, obviously they would come into this thing ranked, and there'd be a lot of hype around it. So we're going to break down Oklahoma on Friday. I say break it down. I mean, it's still early in the year and it's basketball, but we're going to do everything we can to get prepared for that game. We will do a post game for that. I didn't do a post game last night because it was just too late. We were putting up the Christmas tree. I've been telling the girls they're super into Mandalorian, and I am all about it. We're getting ready. We're coming up on the ending of season 2, and I'm so excited because my 7-year-old finally watched the old Star Wars movies with me, episode 4, 5, and 6. So she's all about Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. She knows who these people are, and Princess Leia, and she gets all that. I'm so excited to finish season 2 of Mandalorian. But that's one of the reasons why we didn't do a post game. Is we're setting up the Christmas tree and we're kind of busy. And but I will be doing a post game for Oklahoma for sure. I do enjoy hearing the students heckling. The heckling is, I think the student section's been killing it. I think the student section has absolutely been killing it. Book of Boba comes out. I know, I'm excited for that. And my kids too. Like I'll pause Mandalorian when Boba's in a scene, and I'm like, that's Boba Fett. And I said, remember Addie? That's the guy in Empire Strikes Back, and you also see him in A New Hope for a minute in that Jabba the Hutt scene. When you see Boba kind of stop and he looks at the camera and then he walks, when Boba Fett's paying Han Solo a visit, Yeah, you guys should know. I've got Ninja Turtle pop vinyls. I'm a huge dork. But, yeah, I'm so excited. My kids are – and it's cool now my kids are really into it. So live long and prosper. Get that Star Trek garbage out of here. I'm kidding. Movies were good. J.J. Abrams did a good job with the movies. My wife and I have talked about going back and watching all this Star Trek. I am curious about the shows. There's a few with charisma. MJF, for example, says Go Hogs for life. Amari Parker says AEW is a company dominated by wrestlers with no charisma, personality that just, okay. All right, you guys are still talking wrestling. It could be due to lackluster opponents. And Austin, like I said, that is completely fair. And right, but Arkansas basketball is really good. I would argue they're really good. I'm not going to say they're great. I'm not prepared to say great. To me, great's like top 10, top 12. That's a great team. They're really good. They're right on that cusp. I think they're somewhere floating around the top 15. And in years past, it didn't matter who the opponent was. It didn't matter if it was a, unhyped team coming into the building or not. And I'm saying now that's back. That charisma with this football team's back. You have a super energetic coach in Eric Musselman. You've got some talent on that floor. Finished product, not there yet, right? You're still building that thing. You're still putting the pieces together, still trying to figure out. I think we have an idea of what the rotation is going to look like. But the point is, this is a pretty good football or a basketball team, or really good. I think they're somewhere between good and really good. I think that's fair to say. And once they get it all figured out, who knows? They could be great. I think that's their ceiling. I think they could be a great basketball team. Saying all that, there should be more people there, and it should be louder. I don't care if it's a 9 p.m. tip-off. The excitement in Fayetteville and in Northwest Arkansas when basketball is top-notch, when they're doing what they're doing, and what we always expected them to do, especially back in the 90s, I would even argue, there were some moments under Stan Heath, John Palfrey. I mean, he did do okay year one. Mike Anderson, those crowds were there, man, and they were loud. I don't know what's going on this year. I don't understand why they're kind of coming off like a lame duck crowd, and I think that's just speaking the truth. And I agree. Lackluster opponents play a role. I absolutely agree with that. But they are almost. It almost seems like at times they're non-existent. I hope. Listen, you have Hofstra in North Little Rock on December 18th. I fully expect that place to be rocking. Simmons Bank Arena. Little Rock for basketball will show up. I think they will, even though it's Hofstra. Then you welcome back Elon, the Fighting Teslas. They're going to be here December 21st. Well, we got a gap between Oklahoma and Hofstra. I don't like that. We got a 7-day gap. Oof. That's football, man. That's not – come on. 7-day gap. Let's go. That ain't right. What are they? What is their – who are they? Hofstra Lions? What are they? That is the strangest logo. It looks like two lions in their logo. Anyways, then you play Elon, and then December 29th, unfortunately, you got to open up at Starkville in Mississippi State. But you come back home Tuesday, January 4th. If it really is about quality opponent, then maybe this is another game where it's like, I don't really know. Vanderbilt, we don't really know what to expect there because Vanderbilt, they're spicy. They're always spicy. But they're never really great. They do have a really good shooter on their roster. But that's January 4th when you open up conference play in Bud Walton Arena. I expect that place to be jamming, right? And then, again, you don't welcome – so then you're on the road against the Aggies down at College Station. And then you're back home on January 12th, and you open up – or your second game in conference at Bud Walton is January 12th against Mizzou. Your first real quality home game, if you want to call it that, I guess A&M 22nd. Is that where we're at on this? A&M 7-1 right now. Maybe that's your first real big game. It's not Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's starting out. They're 5-3. They're kind of what you thought they were, really. So, yeah. That's all of wrestling nowadays. Tons of false finishes. I think the crowd for Elon will be a little better because Elon beat Bama. Kenobi. I know. I'm excited for that too, and I think we're going to get a preview of that here in the next few months. John Haas says, I'm stoked for everything this month. Star Wars stuff, Spider-Man, Witcher Season 2. Oh, man. Spider-Man, not as pumped for Spider-Man. The only thing exciting about Spider-Man is you're going to get Doc Ock, which is cool. One of the coolest villains, period. He's such an awesome villain. And Spider-Man 2 might be one of the greatest superhero comic book movies ever. Spider-Man 2 was phenomenal. I love that movie. Student section has been incredible. Glad to be a part of it. Oh, well, cool, Flying Blind. That's awesome that you're there. Problem, though, with little opponents in the age of everything being streamable, I think that's why it's been so bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're just looking for excuses, Austin. Look, man, I mean, you could say that about any game, right? You know, you're going to have more people watching a game at home for sure, but it's not like streaming is brand new. Streaming's been around for a while, and we've seen that place light up even with smaller opponents. I just think I don't know. I don't know what to think. Maybe it is all those things combined, but I'm telling you, the crowd that's there, and I'm not even just talking about the amount of people not showing up. I'm talking about the people that are there. They're not loud enough. I think Jackson Robinson can really carve out a role on this team. I said this a couple shows ago, I think. He's got to be the guy. He's got to find his way into that rotation. He's got to be the guy when Likes and JD Note, when they're not crashing threes, when they're not knocking down threes, when they're struggling, he's got to be that guy to come in off the bench and to heat up. Or maybe maybe you rotate him out with someone else. I'm not really sure. You've got to find a way to get some more quality minutes out of him. And I like him a lot. Students still got to take finals, Ty. That's why I didn't say anything about students flying blind. I'm giving you a compliment, man. What are you talking about? I'm giving you guys a compliment. Students have been awesome. Oh, they're the Pride. I think Hofstra is the Pride. Okay. All right. Hannah Rongi in Super Chat wants to know, do you think Musk could have won more games than Chad Morris? What? I want to see Chance Moore. Do you think Musk could have won more games than Chad Morris as a football coach? Okay. I think you, Hannah, could win more games. I'll say that. You could win more games than Chad Morris could at Arkansas. What's up, Ty? What's up, Yud? How you doing, man? Tom Holland is the Spider-Man. I like him as Spider-Man. I do. I think one of the things that have driven me crazy about this, though, is that they're making it all about the suit and not about Spider-Man and the people around Spider-Man. That's what made Spider-Man so awesome, right? And I don't like the way they've treated Venom. Venom, I could go on and on. And the Venom movie was great. I saw the first one. I loved it. I haven't seen the second one yet. It is great to see Devo developing into another player who can give quality minutes. We have seen him develop, and it's been great. It has been wonderful. He's getting better as the ball continues to roll. All right, let's get into recruiting. Oh, boy. Well, okay. So we know, and I've talked about this, Arkansas does have, coming into for a while now, they've had a silent commit or a silent, not public. That's what that means. He hasn't come out publicly commit, and he's been that way. I mean, it's been that way now for a while, and they do have him. As far as I know, he's still on board. This individual is still on board. I don't know that anything's changed. Feeling pretty good about that situation. Then the rumor came flying in about another silent commit. Now, or not even silent. I think it's pretty public. I think most people. I've already had screenshots sent to me from message boards, and I've seen Twitter talk about this individual. So nothing I'm saying is groundbreaking here. But you had a couple of visitors. You had Gentry Williams and Laterrence Welch who visited last weekend. And a lot of smoke that maybe you get one of them or both of them. I've never really, I don't know. Gentry Williams, I've kind of gone back and forth on. I just feel like he's going to wait it out with Oklahoma. And I mean, depending on what they do with the rest of their staff, we know Venables he's on board there. Now, of course, Kelly at LSU. The rumor, which I think right now has to be taken with a grain of salt, as I always say with rumors, but especially this one, was that Laterrence Welch committed to Arkansas as a silent commit. I don't buy it. I shouldn't say I don't buy it. I should say that I think it was probably misinterpreted. I think he is leaning heavily towards Arkansas. Maybe he did. I hope I'm not, I'm not trying to, again, he's already committed to LSU. The rumor had been for a while. They're working on him. They're going to flip him. I don't know. There's been a lot of speculation, and they're waiting to see if some things changed on defense and who they brought back. Sounds like they're bringing some people back, and it's not necessarily good news for Arkansas, and that's why I think he probably sticks out his commitment with LSU. We'll see. He's announcing December 15th. He has not announced anything. I don't think anybody knows 100% for sure what he's doing. I'm sure there's a couple of Razorback insiders, and I would always tell you guys, pay attention to what Hutch over on Rivals, Trey Biddy on 247, Danny West, those guys all do fabulous work. But they're also not going to spoil anything for any kid either. But Laterrence Welch and Gentry Williams were not supposed to – it was supposed to be kind of under – keep it on the down low that those guys were here. And, of course, that news broke Saturday evening. I think someone broke the story that those two were on campus. I'm going to say this. I'm leaning towards Welch sticking it out with LSU. I know there's rumors that he's a hog. I don't know. Again – I'll be honest, I haven't even reached out to anybody about whether or not they're 100. Well, okay, two individuals have come forward and said that he is, but that it was basically a soft commit. Not a silent, but a soft commit waiting on what happens with LSU. So if you get that flip, it's huge. And I know people take what they hear on message boards from random people on message boards as the Holy Bible, and sometimes there are some really accurate posters, and there are posters on these boards that apparently know what they're talking about and have some really good insight into what's going on with the program. They've also been wrong before, and I'm saying I would hold out, at least wait until you see Welch. Right now, I would say if anything, his recruitment is open, and maybe he's leaning towards Arkansas. I don't know that he's, we know he's not publicly committed. He's not publicly committed. He hasn't publicly committed to Arkansas. As far as I know, I think it's open. I think his commitment is it's open right now. He still has another visit with LSU, I believe, and I think that's this weekend. So take everything you hear with a grain of salt about Welch. I've already got people, Michael Kopetsky telling me Welch is a hog. Okay. Well, I would say just wait, Michael. I don't think we know for a fact just yet. That Hogs Media guy was sketchy, bringing up that there was bad news coming to Arkansas. So we'll talk about that. I think I know what they're referring to, and yes, those rumors were also around that there's a decommit coming for this 2020 for the 2022 class. So again, here's what I'll just say about Welch. I have heard that he committed, but then I had that two of these people turn around and both of them said, take it with a grain of salt. They're still waiting on things, with what's going on at LSU. If certain things happen at LSU, if there's changes or whatever, then the odds are Welch could very likely become a Razorback. There's also tight end at Oklahoma who's currently committed to Oklahoma. Haas. who has also been rumored to have opened up or to be an Arkansas commit. I've not heard that. I don't know that. That's if you know more than I do, then more power to you. I have no idea on that. I don't know. This is the time of year when rumors are everywhere, cloud is everywhere, smoke is everywhere, and you just have to wait till you hear it from either really reliable sources, right, or from the player themselves. And typically they make these kind of announcements on social media one way or another, either Instagram or Facebook, whatever. So you're still waiting on some guys, right? You still got Samuel Mbake, who's going to announce on the 15th, along with Welch. Those are two guys. Here's what I would say right now. Ty, and I talked about this, I think it was yesterday on Discord. Every time I have streamed someone either making their announcement to where they're signing or committing, they have chosen the Razorbacks. And I do that for a reason, right? I have a pretty good idea that they're going to be Razorbacks. I'd say this right now, I wouldn't stream Welch's game. I'm not streaming. I don't plan to stream his announcement right now until I hear something more solidified. Samuel Mbake, he does have crystal balls. I'll say this, and I'm not even before the crystal ball stuff, I was planning on streaming his announcement, and I still plan on streaming his announcement. Again, I only choose to stream when I know people, when I feel like 99% sure they're going to be Razorbacks, because I don't want to stream someone who's not going to be a Razorback. I've thought about streaming guys that I didn't think, or I felt like it was 50-50, because it's, you know what, it's still good content. We still enjoy it together. We get to watch it, and I've thought about it. But I typically, especially up until this week, that's how I run things. That's how I do things. If I'm going to live stream, it's because I feel pretty confident that something is going to go in our favor, right? Look at Kerstad getting drafted. I streamed that because I felt pretty confident that Kerstad, based on what people were saying, I decided to stream Kerstad. And I'm not saying I know something you guys don't. It's just the information that's out there that we all have access to. Sometimes it is people, when it comes to recruiting, it is me talking to people that I've, created relationships with over the years that I feel pretty confident in the information that they give me. I hate to be that, and get sources. God, I hate that. I want to ban that word from Discord. I hate that word. But I do have individuals that I rely on for pretty good information that have been mostly accurate. More specifically, 4 people. And when they all 4 who don't know each other, they know they exist, but they don't talk on a regular basis. And it's not like they're just sharing information. When these 4 people align on the same name, then that's when I know I've got something, and that's when I decide to stream. So right now, I would not feel comfortable streaming Welch right now. And I do feel comfortable streaming Mbake's announcement. If something changes, I'll let you know. December 15th, and I probably said 5th earlier. I apologize if I did. December 15th is going to be a busy day. I don't know how I'm going to manage that day. That's a week from today. So I don't know. I've thought about just turning the on button, flipping the on button, and just streaming the whole day, because I want to follow all the signees, everyone that comes in. I don't know that we're going to do a regular 11 a.m. show that day. It might be kind of crazy. I don't know. Or we do the 11 a.m. show and we just kind of go from there. We have a super chat. Yudwa, good work. I appreciate that, Yudwa. Thank you. The ability, the offensive rebound. Okay. Basketball. All right. Decommit news is out there, or rumors are floating around. They're not true. As far as has there been an official decommitment? I've not heard that. No one that I've talked to has heard anything about decommitment. There are concerns around Miles Rouser, 4-star safety out of Michigan. So I typed this out. Also been plenty of smoke around possible decommit from Razorbacks. Miles Rouser name has come up in several different circles. I think right now, I'm taking that with a grain of salt, like I say with all this kind of stuff, until we see him publicly decommit from the Hogs via Twitter or Instagram, whatever, until we hear it from the horse's mouth. So I don't know. I don't. That's just the smoke that's out there that Miles Rouser might be someone that could decommit. I hope not. I like him a lot. Right now, I think he's your second highest rated commit in the 2022 class, just underneath Isaiah Centennia. Got to keep him. Please do not go after these guys on Twitter. Don't harass them. Don't go pleading with them to stay committed. They're kids, man. They're 16, 17-year-old kids. Please stay committed. Don't do that. Wish him the best, whatever he chooses to do. Or let him have your support. You could tweet at him like, hey, man, whatever you do, I wish you the best. You have our support, whatever you do. Or you don't have to say that because maybe you don't. But don't want you lying to people, right? But just wish them the best no matter what happens. You know, we've all been guilty of it. And Twitter's been around for a while, for a decade or more, and we've all made our mistakes on Twitter. But don't tweet at these kids. You're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. They're pups. Let them make their decisions and wish them the best. That's all you can do, right? Hopefully he doesn't decommit. I like him a lot. I really think he's a really talented player. But right now I think it's just smoke. We don't know. I laugh when I hear someone say, my sources say, unless it's Haas and Marvel related, says Austin. Well, I guess Haas has got that Marvel connection. He needs to start hitting me up in my DMs. I've got sources that say every 5 stars flip into the Hogs, says Polly. Oh, my gosh. Damn, is it because Michigan is good again? I don't know. I have no idea. Ash says if he decommits, I understand, but I would wish him the best like I did Mike Woods. And I feel the same about Mike Woods. I think we all agreed that, man, that's a risky move for Mike Woods. That was obviously a different set of circumstances. Dwayne official says Max Johnson was trash for us. Oh, okay. I hope the decommit is a 3-star. Wingate says Star Wars sequel trilogy sucks. Yeah, not a fan. I'm not even gonna lie about it. 7, you felt pretty good, and then 8 and 9 were just trash. 8 was terrible. 8 was so bad. Like, oh my God. Who okayed this? Disney, you are ruining this. And then they have Mandalorian. It's like, all right, okay. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. My sources confirm Ty, T-Y-E, you must be talking about Ty Richardson because I don't spell my name T-Y-E, is going to sell me one of those Razorback helmets. No. That chrome helmet was a gift from Arizona Tim. I haven't seen him around in a little while, but that was a gift from a fan of the show. And then the other helmets the Ram helmet over there I've had forever. I've had that since, going back to like 1996. It's just a remake of no, they wish they were a remake of it was terrible. 8 was so bad on so many levels. Arkansas basketball. Look, I'm going to say this. We could sit here and gripe about what we've seen, but they still blew these guys out by 20. Of course, that happened later in the game. Charlotte with a 10-man rotation last night. They went pretty deep. Arkansas went deeper into their bench in the second half. In the first half, they had only rotated, I think, like 7-8 players. They had some ballers. Butler was pretty good. Butler got 14 points, 5 of 10 from field goal, right? 2 of 4 at the three-point range. He ends up being the best three-point shooter this entire game because he shot 50% there. Young went 0 for 5 for them. Braswell went 1 for 5. They ended up trying 24 threes. I don't know if that was the most three-point shot attempts. That's a lot. 24 is, and I think you're going to see a lot of that. Teams have got it figured out. Just they can't guard the 3 very well. And they shot 25%, which isn't ideal. Definitely not ideal. Even at 24 attempts, that's not ideal. 6 of 24 there. They were really good at the free throw line. They were 10 of 11. 91%. They shot 44%, almost 45% field goal there. Bench product. They got some productivity out of their bench. Garcia with 9 points for them, 2 assists. So they ended up with just 4 offensive rebounds all night, 21 total rebounds to Arkansas's 41. I mean, bravo. And look, Charlotte's got a little bit of size. And they had a couple pretty athletic bigs. They had some guys that can move up and down the floor pretty good, all things considered, right? Charlotte, who came into this game at 4-3, they had a victory on the road, so they came into this thing 1-0 on the road. They had been somewhat battle tested to some degree. They had two guys who scored double digits. I would say their MVP was definitely Butler, 14 points, 6 rebounds with an assist and a steal. He did turn it over 3 times, though. They turned it over a lot, 12 times, but Arkansas was gifted the 13 on the total turnover ratio there. Arkansas, who shot really well. Again, they're taking more high percentage shots. We're seeing Devo and JD try to knock down more mid-range shots, and I like that. I feel like that's more their game. I really do. Devo's got at times when he leaps up and he's got that perfect angle and he's got that what they call the gooseneck. He can do it, man. May not be as pretty of a shot as Jackson Robinson's shot, but he's pretty damn close. When he's jumping up, JD Note, who can do the fadeaway just a little bit, that's their shot. I feel like that's where they're more comfortable. And they only took 13 shots outside. They still finished under 33% there. They finished 3 of 13 at three-point range. They shot 23%. But overall, the majority of their made shots came from within 12 to 15 feet of the rim and or about 12 feet or underneath the rim, getting some easy buckets inside. 75% at the free throw line, 15 to 20 there. Not a ton of bench. This is probably the first time where it was like, yeah, okay, Likes came off the bench. You got your 13. That's nothing to brag about, but that's also nothing to be upset about. 3 assists, 2 rebounds, again, 13 points. That's pretty good production. But Devo, this is a season high, I think. 18 points, turned it over too much. And I think a lot of that, and Musselman talked about it in his postgame, guys are not ready for Devo to pass. It's so weird. They've got to keep an eye on him and in his hands. When he's got the ball in his hands, they got to pay attention to what he's doing. Maybe not watch his eyes as much as you're going to watch his hands when he's got the ball. Because they clearly look lost when he's trying to move. And maybe that's why he hasn't passed it as much, because he doesn't feel like the dynamic's there. And he gets gifted 5 turnovers, and I don't think they're all his fault. You could say they're bad passes, but I think it's also guys not paying attention. And we saw that several times last night. 13 turnovers is too many. 3 blocks, 9 steals, 14 assists. You dig that. You dig that. And I love the 9 steals. You're going to win some games if you're shooting 53% from the floor. Get that 3-point. That's got to be up around 33% for Arkansas to win games. I've said that now and I felt that way last year and going back to 2019. You need to be around 33%. The way these teams are built, 15 to 20. I said that right from free throw line, 75% there. Offensive rebounds, 15. Again, you had 11 more offensive rebounds to Charlotte. Charlotte wasn't tiny, right? They weren't tiny. They may not have the athletes. They may not be as deep and all that. They don't have the talent. They don't have the star power on the floor. They gave Arkansas, they came in pretty salty, and they did pretty well. They kept things somewhat close, right? It was only a 10-point lead for Arkansas at half, 41-31. But really, again, I'm impressed. They're still finding ways, Arkansas is, to hang on to these double-digit leads. And we've seen them do that time after time after time. So am I panicking? No. Am I prepared to say if they don't get it figured out, they might struggle getting to the tournament? If they don't get some things figured out, I think you can make that case for a lot of teams in basketball right now. But yeah, I think Arkansas, you've got the depth, man. You've got some pretty good size. You could kind of play big when you want. Your MVP last night has got to be Devo. I don't know how it's anybody else. My God, 18 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. You don't like the turnovers. You don't like the foul trouble. But you're going to take 2 offensive rebounds. You're going to take 4 total rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, and 18 points. Hell, the 18 points by itself is nice, but then you fill out the rest of that stat sheet, and it's pretty nice. Jalen Williams, career high last night in scoring, 15 points, 8 rebounds. This guy, again, he always sniffs around the double-double. I don't think Arkansas has had a double-double yet this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Jalen's come close. I think Connor came close. Didn't Connor have a game where he had like 8 or 9 rebounds with 14 points or something? Vanover had 6 last night. He only logged 8 minutes. His minutes, I'm telling you. What did I say? As soon as he took that shot last night, as soon as he took that quick 3, it wasn't the very next possession when they got the opportunity that he was pulled off the floor. That's how Muss operates with him. He just has a short leash. The second he sees him take an unwarranted shot, it wasn't the best. It was, I would say, of his typical shot selection, that was one of his worst. And no, you're not just saying that for a 3. Go back and watch it. It's like normally he settles for the shot, right? He lets it kind of set up. Usually someone leaves him open. He plants his feet, gets the elbow out, and takes the shot. That was like a almost transition shot. Like he saw it, he took the opportunity, and Musselman benched him. We did see Wade last night. Again, we saw both Robinsons. KK only got 2. Amude had 10 minutes. Again, Amude is just kind of spotty this year. I don't know. You'll see him get 6 minutes, and he gets some productive time in 6 minutes, and then he gets 10 minutes last night, and he doesn't do really much of anything except grab a couple fouls. He did have 3 rebounds, so I guess you can't say it was doing nothing, but yeah. Again, I think bench production didn't do anything to help you last night, but it also didn't do anything to hurt you. So, yeah, I feel pretty confident in them going undefeated into conference play, especially after watching OU. They shouldn't have even gone into overtime against Butler. I mean, Butler, if OU doesn't knock down that last second 3, I mean, that's ball game right there. And then they lose it in overtime at home. And then that Florida win for Oklahoma doesn't look as impressive. And again, it is early. It's still early. Saturday doesn't change that. Saturday doesn't change things. I think on the floor, Arkansas has the talent, the physicality. They're a tough physical team. They're deeper, and I think they're just overall a better team than Oklahoma. The problem, and something you don't like, is that it's not at home. But Arkansas has won away from home. They won in KC, which is obviously further away than Tulsa. So I think Arkansas fans will travel well to this thing at the BOK Center. BOK. I think they'll I like their odds. I would pick them to go undefeated, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna take my time. Friday I'll give you my exact guess. Maybe I kind of change my mind because it does kind of feel like a coin flip game at the same time. It really does. So, yeah. Yeah, Vito. Yeah, the kickoff guy, Vito. He's out. He's in the portal, which is a little surprising. And he was not on scholarship, I don't believe. Mentioned you in their comment. Who did? Who mentioned me in their comment? Who you talking about? I definitely feel we don't get Hazelwood without Woods talking it up. Oh, for sure. No, I agree with that. I think Woods did talk it up to some degree. Big game against OU. I agree. Joe, do you think Muss will ever seek greener pasture? I don't want to go back to being mediocre. No, I don't. Well, not in the near future. Not anything could happen. He just signed an extension. I don't know. I can't read his mind. Arkansas, listen. If there was ever any doubt about do kids want to come play at Arkansas? Do current players, now with this transfer portal being the way that it is, do they want to come play at Arkansas? And clearly the answer is yes. The money, the statewide influence, hell, the regional influence that the Razorbacks have, and you could say that about all sports, baseball, basketball, football, hell, women's basketball, softball. You look at they are a force to be reckoned with, and they are a place, and I would say that basketball now, it feels like it's back. And when Nolan was going, man, I mean, there's a reason why Nolan didn't go anywhere, and he wasn't going anywhere. until he was ultimately, until things went down the way that they did in the early 2000s. But with him having the West Coast connections that he has, that's always a concern of mine. Is Kentucky, when you compare the two programs, Kentucky is on another level. Arkansas basketball is definitely a program that the expectations here can be Final Four, can be winning national championships. The expectations at Kentucky are just different. Kentucky is a program where the expectation is you're making the Final Four every year. Down years are when you're eliminated early in the tournament or you don't make it past the Sweet 16. Those are down years for Kentucky. Or you look at some of these other marquee jobs, right? KU, you look at Kansas. Some of those jobs, some of those big-time places, they like to hire within too, though, and we've seen that at a couple of places. What about UConn? That school's got some history, and their ceiling is winning national championships. What about, again, those West Coast teams where that's his background over on the West Coast. Those are the things that do kind of concern me. While Arkansas is great, and I love this state. You guys know how I feel about Northwest Arkansas, the whole state, Little Rock. I've got family all over this place. Got family all over the state of Arkansas. Madison County all the way down to Little Rock. But let's be honest, some of those jobs are in, they're in more attractive areas. They're in places that also the expectations are winning natties, going and winning natties or being competitive every year. Muss has had to rebuild that here. Maybe he wouldn't mind going to a place that it's already set in place. But here's the thing. He also strikes me as the kind of guy that, he doesn't want to walk away from this. The success that he's having right now, why would he? I mean, and not only that, Arkansas is competitive. When they're on, they're considered one of the better teams in the SEC in basketball. Can't really say that about football, not in the recent years. You can obviously say that about baseball. And he's rebuilt basketball single-handedly, and he did it I shouldn't say single-handedly, obviously Hunter Yurachek, his staff. But it comes down to what Eric Musselman was able to achieve as the head coach of the basketball program. Why would he want to walk away from that? Again, players want to play here. You've got Bud Walton Arena, which is a jewel in this part of the country. That is a wonderful arena, and sometimes people take that for granted. They don't understand, there are some really good schools with bigger names in Arkansas who don't have something like Bud Walton. They don't have a bomb. They don't have the football stadium we play in. The facilities here are top-notch. These are the things that are attractive to a coach. And the fact, more importantly, you are an attractive school to kids around the country. Now basketball feels like at Arkansas that it's becoming more of a household name. Musselman is a household name. I mean, he's been on Barstool Sports. He's been on, I think, with Jim Rome. He's talked about and he's bringing Arkansas along with him. And he's giving you exactly what we thought the Nolan Richardson towards the end of that era. That transition is what we thought would happen, like what we're seeing out of Muss. This feels like 20 years too late. Not too late, but this should have happened 20 years ago, what we're seeing with Eric Musselman. I think above all else, I think he just wants to be at a place where he's set up to succeed. And Arkansas is that. It's not some, school out in, sunny Southern California. It's not, it's not up in the Northwest or the Southwest. It's not over there where I think he really has a lot of, he knows that area. That's kind of his background, and everything. But Arkansas is a pretty special place, and I think he gets that. And obviously the fans get that. And the other thing, too, is not only does he attract talent, player talent, he attracts coaching talent. Look at his staff. These guys want to coach for him, and they want to coach for him at the University of Arkansas. I think he has everything he needs here to be successful. I think any coach should be able to come in and do something similar to what he's doing. I don't know why Heath, Pelfrey, and Mike Anderson couldn't get to this level, and here we are, year 2. Now, look, people also tell me when a fellow at a gas station said, I think last year, I'll be honest, I think it was a flash in the pan. I don't think we get back to that. Now, of course, he said that before the season. I'd like to know what he thinks after Arkansas starting off with this 9-0 start. Again, I get the strength of schedule, but I'm just curious if he'd still be on that train of thought. But he said, I think it was a flash in the pan. I don't know that they repeat that. And the first thing I said was, well, first off, he feeds off that kind of energy. So next time, why don't you tweet? Or I said something. I said you ought to tweet him that because he loves that kind of energy and he feeds off of it. But he continues to prove people wrong, and so I don't know. In the near future, I don't see him leaving. I don't. Down the road, I don't know. I mean, we're also not talking about a 45-year-old guy, right? We're not talking about someone who's 45. We're talking about a guy that's in his late 50s. Maybe he wants to settle down here. Why not? NWA is gorgeous. Most of the state of Arkansas is gorgeous, but NWA is gorgeous. And Fayetteville's an awesome town to raise kids in. We know he's got some youngins. He's got a youngin. I think it's a great community, great area. All the other things I just mentioned, I don't know. I think it's going to be really hard. I'll say that. And not only that, he's going to get paid. Now, Michael says he doesn't care about money. I don't believe that, but he does. I mean, they all care about money to a degree, right? I think he would tell you. I think he would tell you, like, yeah, I should be paid what I'm worth. And Arkansas can do that. So, I think they'll balk. Says shooter game. Okay. Muss wins a title next year, then he's gone. That could happen, Maya. That could very well happen. Players all smiles coming out of the 2-minute timeout last night, even though we were only 6 points ahead. Great to see everyone keeping it light. Woo pig, great win. Thanks, Kate. You're right. Never come to Northeast Arkansas. Nowhere near as good as NWA. I've been through there. NEA is beautiful. NEA is not that bad at all. I hear great things about Jonesboro. I actually have family in Jonesboro as well. I've heard great things about Northeast Arkansas. Got a friend of mine that lives in Piggott. Jay Will deserves a double-double. He's always so close, man. He's always so close. I don't think they've had a double-double yet this year. Did JD get a double-double? Did I miss that? JD with 26-10. Did he get a double in this one? I don't think so. He did. Oh, my God. It was right in front of me. 23-10. He did. So I think, was that the first double-double? 23-10. He had 23 points and 10 rebounds. God. 4 steals, too. Tony, and what's crazy is Tony didn't have his normal, didn't get to his point average, but he still ended up with 7 rebounds. I want to know where Tony's at in rank for offensive rebounds. I need to go look at that. You're right. Note had a double-double. Look at that. There you go. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the first double-double of the year. My family is in Jonesboro. Yeah, I have family in Jonesboro. Eagle says, yep, first of the year. Okay, there you go. So you had your double-double. But I agree about Jay Will. Jay Will does deserve a double-double, and I think he will get there. I think he could have a couple before the end of the year. I'm loving his play. It wouldn't shock me at all. And what's crazy is he only had 2 assists last night, but that's below his average. Because I'm pretty sure his average is like 3.5 assists a game. 2 assists, and we're talking about a forward, or we're talking about a guy that plays inside being low on the assist, right? 2 assists. That's a low for him. Any coach would love that on average for any of their bigs, but for that to be underwhelming for Jay Will says something, doesn't it? Jay Will's just been awesome. So good for him. Yeah, you had 14 assists last night to 13 turnovers. Turnovers were just messy. And again, I think a lot of it, like I said, it goes back to Devo's. They're just not ready for a Devo pass. They're just not. I thought that, and then to hear Musselman, it's always good to hear what you're thinking through a game, and to hear Musselman talk about it afterwards. You're like, okay, good. I'm not the only one that's seeing it, and he's talking about it. The man himself is talking about it. So yeah, all right. Clearly, JD Note is your MVP. 10 rebounds, 23 points, and 4 steals, 1 assist. That's incredible. Only 2 turnovers. That is incredible. That is a definitely. I think that's probably going to be Player of the Week worthy for the SEC. So, yeah. All right. Good thing in California as a state is a dumpster fire, severe homelessness. California is. You won't ever catch me living there. I'll say that much. Visit, sure. I'll visit, but I'm not staying long. They can keep it. Please don't. People leaving California, Please don't California the rest of this country. That's all I'm going to say. I'll end on that. Woo Pig, we'll do our show on Friday. We'll do more of an Oklahoma breakdown. I told you guys we might have some recruiting news and some rumors and stuff this week. I do think we'll have some more recruiting updates probably between now and then. We'll see. This time of year, that's just to be expected. So that'll be the 10th. And again, the 15th is going to be crazy. We're going to be looking at a couple of announcements on the 15th. Some guys, maybe you flip somebody. And, of course, when the silent commit comes forward, obviously we'll address it, assuming he's still on board, and I believe that he is. It's going to be a busy day, so I'm just going to clear my plans for next Wednesday, and I don't know. We're probably just going to stream. And, again, that early signing period is actually, I think it's the 15th. I thought I saw it was 15th through the 17th. I thought it was a week long. I thought it was 15th through the 22nd, but the 15th is when everything is supposed to go down. That is no longer early signing period. That's just the new signing period. And then that's a short period of time. Then I think the first week of February would be the second and final signing period, which is usually like the 7th or 8th or whatever. So, yeah, we're going to keep track of all of it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking around. To sponsors, Patreon supporters, I appreciate you guys. If you were, again, could not be here without Patreon supporters, without you guys here in live chat, without our sponsors. Don't forget Direct Service Overhead. Shout out to them. Garage Door Company. They operate out of Central Arkansas and in Northwest Arkansas. They will repair or replace your garage door. They'll, your pulley system, if it's messing up, that the thing with the chain that pulls your door open. If you got any problems, I'll help you out with that. Go give Travis Ford and the boys a call. That link is provided for you down below in the description box. And, of course, Stated Apparel. They have a unique shirt just for you from State Pride, funny, sassy, sarcastic, pop culture, all of it. Our shirts are hand-printed on premium material that will leave you looking and feeling great. Our store offers something for everyone. So go check out Stated Apparel. Their link is provided for you down below as well. And they're also in our Discord. Their links are in our Discord. Okay. I think that's everything. I'm trying to look down my raw sheet here. You guys know how this is. I'll look and I'll find something that I forgot to mention. I think that's everything. Yep, that's it. That's it. We can go now. I'm gonna go eat lunch. Woo Pig. I'll see you guys on Friday. Behave yourselves. Go Hogs.